A very good morning, students. Today we are going to learn The Tempest was written by William Shakespeare from Unit 1 Supplementary Reader. The play Tempest was written by William Shakespeare. He was an English poet, playwright, and an actor. He was widely regarded as both the greatest writer in the English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. He was often called England's national poet and the bard of Avon. He wrote 37 plays, 154 sonnets, 2 narrative poems, and majority of which he penned between 1589 and 1613. The play Tempest was considered as one of the Shakespeare's well-written plays. It is believed that the play was based on an actual wreck of a ship called the Sea Venture of Bermuda that was headed to Virginia. There is a strong evidence that Shakespeare used elements of a story of the wreck. He interestingly pictured how the protagonist regained his dukedom with the help of the supernatural power. Let us move on to the text. There was an island in the sea. The only inhabitant, the only human being living in that island named Prospero. Prospero was a Duke of Milan and his daughter Miranda, a beautiful young lady. She came to this island so young. She had no memory of having seen any other human face than her father. She came to the island at the age of 3, so she don't know any other human face except her father. They came to the island to survive in that island. They lived in a cave made out of rock. They created a cave with the help of rock. It was divided into several apartments, one of which Prospero called his study. One room he said to study. Especially he loved to read magic books, which chiefly treated of magic. By virtue of his art, he had released many good spirits from a witch called Sycorax. Sycorax is a witch. With his magical power, he released many spirits from the witch Sycorax, who had them imprisoned in the bodies of large trees. He imprisoned all the spirits in the big, huge trees. These gentle spirits were ever been obedient to the will of Prospero. Of these, Ariel was the chief. Ariel was the chief spirit released from the huge trees, who was captured by a witch called Sycorax. Ariel took rather too much pleasure in tormenting an ugly monster called Caliban. He was very happy by torturing or tormenting Caliban. Caliban was none other than the son of Sycorax. So, Caliban torturing him to do the tedious work by fetching the wood, laborious offices, and he treated him like a slave. As Ariel was very angry towards Sycorax, he torturing his son Caliban. With the help of these spirits, Prospero could command the winds and the waves of the sea. By his order, they raised a violent storm, in the midst of which he showed his daughter a fine large ship. Prospero is good in commanding, or he can control the sea, the nature, by his magical power. So, he informed his daughter that he is going to control a ship. And he informed that the ship is full of human beings. Oh, my father, If by your art you have raised this dreadful storm, have pity on their sad distress. See the vessel will be dashed to pieces. Poor souls, they will all perish. Miranda was pity towards the human being inside the ship. So she is informing that if Prospero raised the dreadful storm, it may destroy the human souls, human being inside the ship. Be not so amazed, daughter Miranda, said Prospero. There is no harm done. I have so ordered it that no person in the ship shall receive any hurt. Prospero is promising to his daughter Miranda that people inside the ship were never hurt by the dreadful storms. What I have done has been in care of you, my dear daughter. You are ignorant. He is telling that she is ignorant, she is innocent. Can you remember a time before you came to this cell? The word cell referred to the island. He is asking that whether she has remembered anything happened when she was young when they reached the island. I think you cannot, for you were not then 3 years of age. She was only 3 years when they reached the island. 12 years ago, Miranda, 12 years ago. Now the age of Miranda is just 15. She's in her teenage, continued Prospero. I was Duke of Milan. Prospero was a Duke of Milan. You were a princess, my only heir. Heir referred to the only child. So he's telling that he was a popular Duke. People of Milan loved him a lot. He was a famous Duke of Milan, and she was the only princess to Prospero. He had a younger daughter. His name was Antonio. Prospero's younger brother, name was Antonio. He trusted his brother and he gave his possession and power to Antonio. And he introduced many people to Antonio to become popular like him. The opportunity he gave him to making himself popular has awakened a bad nature and created a very worst ambition in the mind of Antonio. So he had a hand with the king of Naples, a powerful prince. He was the enemy of Prospero. So Antonio took a hand of his enemy, his brother's enemy, and he wanted to perish him or abolish him from the dukedom. In this picture, you can see Antonio is meeting the king of Naples. My child, they dare not, so dear was the love that my people bore me. He's telling that his people loved him a lot. They loved him, they admired him a lot. Antonio carried us on board a ship when we were some leagues out at sea. He forced us into a small boat without either tackle, sail, or mast. There he left us, as he thought to perish, but a kind lord of my court, one Gonzalo, who loved me, had privately placed in the boat water provisions, apparels, and some books which I prize above my dukedom. So here Antonio carried aboard a ship. He had a ship. In the ship he had some leaks and he wanted to perish. He wanted to kill Prospero in the ship itself. But one good man called Gonzalo, he loved Prospero a lot. He had a small boat inside that ship with water, some apparels, and some books, which were loved by Prospero above all his kingdom. Gonzalo helped him to survive. So, with the help of Gonzalo, they reached the island. Prospero is narrating his past, his story to his daughter Miranda. Oh, my father, what a trouble must I have been to you then? Miranda is asking how much trouble she could give to his father when she was very young in the island. No, my love, you were a little angel that did preserve me. Your innocent smile made me bear up against my misfortunes. Our food lasted till we landed on this desert island, since my chief delight has been in teaching you. Miranda, well, have you profited by my instructions? So he's telling that he's not worried about the young little angel, and the food they had in the boat had lasted for till they arrived the island. After that, Ariel helped him in that. So he's giving his story in a nutshell and instructed her you can benefit it what he has undergone in the past. Heaven thank you, my dear father. Not tell me, sir, your reason for raising this sea storm. She's telling that thank you for telling me the old story, but now tell me why you are raising the storm towards this ship. No, then, that my means of this storm, my enemies, the king of Naples and my cruel brother, are cast ashore upon this island. He is informing his daughter Prospero, that the ship is boarded by his brother Antonio and his enemy, King of Naples. Having so said, Prospero gently touched his daughter with his magic wand. She fell fast asleep, for the spiritual just then presented himself before his master to give an account of Tempest and how he has disposed of the ship's company. And though the spirits were always invisible to Miranda, Prospero did not choose. She could hear him holding conversation with the empty ear. Prospero touched his daughter with a magical wand to make her asleep. And now he is talking to the spirit, his servant Ariel, to present it a tempest, a wild storm inside the sea. And the spirits were always invisible to Miranda because he never showed the spirits to Miranda or his magical powers to Miranda. And he make Miranda to sleep, and he is now having a conversation with Ariel. Prospero did not choose. She should hear him holding conversation with the spirits. Well, my brave spirit, how have you performed your task? Now Ariel came and he's asking what was the performance inside the sea. Ariel gave a lively description of the storm and of the terrors of the mariners, and how the king's son Ferdinand was the first who leaped into the sea. Now Ariel is describing what was happening in the sea, and everyone in the ship was frightened. The first one fell into the sea was the son of King of Naples. The king's son, King of Naples' son, Ferdinand, fell into the sea. And his father thought he saw his dear son swallowed by the waves. King of Naples thought that Ferdinand has died, but he is safe in a corner of the isle, sadly lamenting the loss of the king, his father. Here, King of Naples is believing that Ferdinand has died. Ferdinand believed that his father has died. Both are lamenting for the death of their loved ones. Here, a tempest is created by the Ariel, and Prospero and Miranda is watching the sea. The ship is attacked by the tempest, and the ship was wrecked. Everyone was separated in the water. That's my delicate Ariel, said Prospero. Bring him here. My daughter must see this young prince. Where is the king and my brother? He's ordering Ariel to bring Ferdinand, and Ferdinand wants to see his daughter, and Miranda has to see Ferdinand. And I want to see his brother, lovable and the enemy brother Antonio. I left them, searching for Ferdinand, whom they had little hopes of finding, thinking they saw him perish of the sea's crew. Not one is missing, though each one thinks himself the only one saved, and the ship, though invisible to them, is safe in the harbor. Each and every one in the ship thought that only they have saved. They thought others were died in the ship, and they thought the was perished, invisible in the sea. But the ship was safe in the harbor. You can see the ship was very safe in the harbor. We can see what was happened after this incident in the next session. It will be continued. Thank you, students. Today's homework, you have to learn the essay. I'll mark and send you the answer. You have to learn the essay. Thank you, students.